They call them capital sins, cardinal sins, deadly sins, and we all know there are 7. But when it comes to marketing, the sins that your marketing team can be guilty of and can send your company out of business, they're just 3. Hi, my name is Andrea for leadsandconversion.com, and in the past 10 years working with small and mid-sized companies to help them grow their revenue, I have seen all sorts of marketing mistakes. There are 3 mistakes, deadly sins if you want, that are causing the most troubles. So stick with me, because in this video I'm going to tell you everything about these 3 sins, starting with the first one, which is going too broad. So going too broad, what does it mean? When marketers are trying to get people in the funnel, they share your company's message, and they do so in different channels and in different ways. Now, one way is to broaden your message so that it appeals to more people. So basically they're casting a wider net and more people can fall in this net, and this results in more traffic to your pages. Most often this traffic is organic, so you can find this issue on search, you can find this issue on social media, and the symptom you have to watch out for is this: your marketing team is starting to fill your funnel with people that do not have the problem that your product solves. So in this situation, the marketing team is deviating from the product. The message starts to be too far from the product, and when people come to your pages, you can't sell them anything because they really don't have that kind of problem, you know? So why does this happen? Why marketers are doing this? Mostly it's because the metrics that the company uses to measure performance of marketers are linked to the traffic. So the more people the marketers manage to bring, more eyeballs, the better. And probably you have heard this phrase, I think it was Peter Drucker: you improve what you measure. And in this case, if you measure traffic, it's traffic what gets improved. But it's the quantity of traffic, it's not the quality, you know? So that's why marketers are making this mistake. But why is it a mistake? Why bringing more people in the funnel can be harmful for the business? Well, because if you bring to the funnel people who are not having the problem that your product solves, well, these people are useless. And I know you may say, Andrea, these numbers are good for us, they make our company bigger and our management is happy. Yeah, but in the end of the story, your management is happy when you make more money, when you're selling things, not when you're just bringing people for the sake of bringing people. So this is what is wrong, which brings us to the sin number 2. Deadly sin number 2: forcing lead gen. So this goes hand in hand with the sin number 1. People are coming to your funnel, they are not really into your product, but you force them to sign up to something. So now your traffic problem suddenly becomes a lead problem. These leads go into your CRM, and now sales has to deal with people who are not qualified to buy. And you may say, Andrea, we nurture these leads, and if they're not ready today, they will be ready tomorrow. But I'm telling you, this is a waste of time, resources, and money. Because with the right marketing message, you can get these people when they're ready to buy. You don't need to get them months before, years before, and then invest tens of thousands of dollars to nurture them, to just keep your company top of mind in the case that maybe one day they will need to buy your product. This is totally nuts. So what you should do instead is to make sure that your marketing team puts out the right message, get the right people in the funnel, and don't force them to sign up to anything. The lead generation process should be organic. People should be interested in your product, in your service, and they should be willing to leave the email to get more information about the product. This way, salespeople know that there is an interest. If you give to sales reps emails of people who have downloaded a PDF that has nothing to do with your product, what do you think is the chance that these persons will end up buying? You are wasting time of sales. And I know there are like marketing qualified leads and sales qualified leads, but to me, this is all shit. The truth is that marketing qualified leads, they are not leads, they shouldn't be in your CRM. In your CRM, you want to have only sales qualified leads, because marketing qualified lead, well, it doesn't move the needle. It doesn't really. And you see, here we go back to the issue of what we are measuring. If you reward the marketing team for generating leads, well, of course they will give you leads. They will put everyone in the funnel and they will try to get as many leads as they can, because you are rewarding them for the leads. So you have to change your metrics. You have to change what you measure. And for example, if you agree that only sales qualified leads matter, well, the marketing team will change its behavior and start to provide you the leads you need for sales. Now, before we go to talk about sin number 3, I want to point out that sin number 1 and sin number 2, they create the same problem, which is this: they put sales in the position of not being able to close the deal, or at least they make it very hard for sales to do their job. So if your organization is relying on sales reps to make the calls and actually sell the product, you need to fix the sin number 1 and the sin number 2. Before I start to talk about sin number 3, do yourself a favor and click the like button, so YouTube will understand you like this kind of videos and it will just put more of these videos on your feed. Yeah? Your like also helps me to understand you like the video and I can make more content like this. So thanks a lot for playing this game and for clicking the like button. Let's talk about sin number 3. Sin number 3 is bad or poor tracking. Now, we have seen already in the previous 2 scenes how measuring things can affect behavior of the entire marketing team, but even of sales or whatever. Everyone is affected by the metrics that are tracked. Okay. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I've seen with all the companies I work with is very weak tracking systems. Now, tracking systems are not negotiable. You need to track things, because otherwise you're going blind. Otherwise you're spending money on activities that are not effective. You may be using marketing channels or marketing messages that don't convert. They don't bring people, and they don't convert these people into paying customers. And if you don't measure things, you don't know. The worst part of all this is that companies, they think they're measuring, but actually they are not, because the tools they're using, they are not set up correctly, or the actual implementation of the tracking is not structured well enough to give a meaningful insight. And I know you may say, Andrea, I've lost you. I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, I'll make you a typical example. You know the UTM parameters, this UTM source, UTM medium, UTM campaign that you put in the URLs to track where visitors are coming from. So you should know about these things if you are in marketing, even if you are in sales. Now, I have an entire video that talks about the UTM parameters, but the point I want to make here is that every time an article or piece of content, a marketing asset is distributed, it should be distributed with a specific URL created for that. So this article on this platform has this URL, and this way we can track that people are coming from that post. So most companies are not doing this, that they do it sometimes, that they're not consistent, and consistency is the key for proper tracking. Some other companies, they are doing that, but the values that they put in these UTM parameters, they're simply not consistent enough. So the result of this is that when you go in Google Analytics, your data is so fragmented with all these different values that have been chosen almost at random, and you don't see anything. You can't make sense of data because data has been misclassified. Again, there is an entire video about that, but I have seen this in basically every company I've worked with, so I'm willing to bet you have this problem. Now, other issues related to tracking can be, for example, are you tracking clicks everywhere on the site? And are you analyzing what people do on the site? What is the behavior of people? What are the actions they take? Are you recording sessions on the site and watching back what people are doing? Are you trying to understand if the navigation is correct on the site? Is the site architecture good for the experience you want to provide? So all these questions can be answered when you have data. And marketers and sales reps need to look at this data and make their next decision based on what is the response of the people in your funnel and in your CRM. Online business is not a black box. You have inputs and outputs, and we can pretty much understand what gets out if we know what gets in. If you think you have troubles with your tracking, or you simply want to check that your tracking setup is correct, you can get in touch with us at leadsandconversion.com/start. Well, I would say that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can start watching the next one.